We have a question from Derek Allen who wants to ask. He said, was JT dealing with any known injuries earlier this season? Not to blame injuries, but he just looks like a different player now. Looks like he's found the fountain of youth. I don't disagree with that. As far as the second half of that, there were no known injuries at the beginning of the year. Known being the key word there. I don't necessarily think that he was injured. I just think that he was playing bad baseball, not getting. He even said himself, he's like, I was not having quality at bats. So he was kind of blaming himself. And they made, a small adjustment, mechanical, to get his foot down a little bit faster, so that he wasn't kind of like off balance at the plate on contact. And it's made a huge difference. And the guy's been really, really good. And we talked about him a little bit the last show, so I don't want to get into a real deep thing on Real Muto, but I will say this. There was the one reason that I think we really were worried about this offense is because outside of Turner, Schwarber, Harper, you didn't have much else, right? You've seen a consistency from Real Muto now for a few months, since June 1st.
Yeah,
he's like third in baseball.
Yeah, since June 1st, he's hitting 324, the 365 on base percentage, 447 slugs, 57 games. And, if you can hit 324 for a 57 game stretch, that's not insignificant.
Yeah, I think it's either second or third in the majors in batting average since June 1st. So that's one. And the other one is Bryson Stott, who deserves a little bit of love today, Bob, because here's another guy who's kind of saved his season since June 23rd. Like, he has been so good for them in that span. That was the day, if you remember, his son was born, right? And the Phillies thought, okay, we're going to have to, take Stott out of the lineup. He was supposed to be in the lineup, and he had called Rob Thompson that morning. He said, no, I still want to play. I know I haven't slept, but I still want to play. In those 25 games since his son Jackson was born, 333, 410 OPS on base percentage, 556 slug, 965 OPS. He's pulling the ball. He's given up on trying to hit that flare to left field.
What did I say to you for 4 months? And even going back last year, I'm like, when he swings the bat, it looks like he's swinging a telephone pole.
Yeah.
And then you go and look at the Baseball Savant page, and you're like, bat speed is like bottom 5%. He's getting to it quicker now.
Yeah, and it's saved his season, right? Because there was a thought. I mean, we were at a point about a month ago where we were saying, should Edmundo Sosa get the lion's share of at-bats at second base?
Do you think it's helping him, though, that Sosa is getting the at-bats against lefties, and it's not him 6 days a week? And, like, do you think that balancing act has helped propel him a little bit, and he's really getting the advantageous matchups? And
yeah, I do think it's helped. I mean, it's not a strict platoon, because he did play against, he did face a couple lefties, right? I mean, they're not pinch hitting for him with Sosa against a lefty reliever. So he is facing some lefties. So it's not a strict platoon, but I do think giving him, the game off against a tougher lefty is helping. And yes, it's giving him.
Yeah, I remember asking you a question where, like, I don't think I ever said, like, hey, DFA Bryson Stott. I mean, I know I didn't, but I did ask you, like, would you at the trade deadline start to say, like, look, we like this guy, and, we thought he was going to be a little bit more than this. He's obviously a good defender. There's room for him on the team, but if the right guy fell into our laps, would you not do that deal because of Bryson Stott? And I think that was a fair question at the time. I think even now it's still a fair question. Like, kudos to Bryson Stott. He's swung the bat pretty well here for the last month or so. You go back to the start of 24, he's had like 6 good weeks, and the rest has been terrible. So, like, I'm encouraged by what we're seeing here, but I also need to see this for a little bit longer. You take it for if in terms of the 25 Phillies, you just take it for what it is and say, like, let's go. Like, this has been a huge boost to us. It's been awesome. But, like, in terms of, like, the 2026 Phillies, I need to see more. Like, you need to continue to give quality at bats through the remainder of this year before I say, oh, I'll go back into 26 and give Bryson Stott one more chance to start 120 games. Like, I need to see it for longer.
Yeah, I had a conversation with him before the game on Wednesday, and then of course he went out and had 3 hits in the game, which made it easy for me to write that story afterwards. But we were talking about it, and they talked about the adjustment that he made, where he's relaxed his hands a little bit. He's not wiggling the bat as much, and it's just kind of resting it on his shoulder. It's allowing him to get to the ball sooner. All good stuff, right? But I asked him about. I said, so what kind of brought you to that? And he said, we went back and looked on video at what I was doing in 23, what I was doing for my best 6 weeks in 24, and what I was doing at the start of this season. If you remember back in April, he was hitting 300, right? Yeah. So like we looked at all of them, and we found that the most common thread was this little thing. And so it wasn't about, the Phillies know when your hands are moving up. They know when you're wiggling your bat. They know all that stuff. And they found that there was one subtle thing, and it just meant, how do we keep your hands there in that spot, rest the bat on your shoulder, and do it? He said, do I know if that's ultimately going to work long term? I don't know. He said, in baseball, sometimes you can take your best swing and pop out 3 times in a game, right? He said, so it's a lot of it is luck related. He said, but when it's going good, you're not going to change anything. So right now, that's what they kind of figured out, and since that's happened, he's pulling the ball, he's driving the ball, and he's being a productive hitter. And in that number 9 spot, Bob, when you have Turner going as well as he's going, and then Schwarber, and then Harper, that really makes things go for this offense.